Hey beauties, morning to you beautiful people. So Don Anderson and his team did a recent polling again, but it is in light of the two major leaders in Jamaica. I'm talking in terms of not so much the parties, as in the two major political parties, JLP and PNP, but as it relates to the leader and their leadership style and leadership skills, as in Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding. And incidentally, Mark Golding has copped the prize in terms of leading ahead as the better of the two. I don't remember the exact figure, like one in the 20s, late 20s, one in the sort of mid-30s, in terms of who they think is a better of the two leaders. And they spoke to just the whole decadence that is happening in our country. Why? And even in the first study that, where it says it was a dead heat, but the JLP had edged the PNP, and then they had broke down some of the things where they said that, a certain percentage, like 48%, didn't think that Prime Minister Andrew Holness was a good leader. And similarly, it said about 30-something or 40, early 40s, said that, what's his name, Mark Golding, is not a good leader. And they list the reasons why. One of the things that I will encourage leaders across the board, leaders, people in leadership, management or whatnot, is to look at John C. Maxwell's book on leadership when he talks about from level 1 to level 5. He said, you see, between level 4 is good, but it is not great. So the good is the enemy of the great. Good is the enemy of the best. Good is the enemy of the better. Level 5 is where it is at. What is it? Serving people. To be a great leader, you have to be a great server, so to speak. You must give good service. And I've often spoken about the larger working force, which is the public sector workers. And they have been crying day and night like the children of Israel and say they're tired of Pharaoh. They're tired of the bad treatment. They're tired of the low pay. They're tired of no benefits, scarce benefits. When monies are to come to them like back monies, it takes forever to come. Look at, for instance, the JCSA, the Jamaica Civil Service Association President, Miss Teacher, saying, I don't know, up to now we have not heard anything. A meeting that should have been held in January to have back monies, to have this being restored, mileage, passenger mileage, salary, retro, so many different things should be restored. We're talking about teachers who are poorly paid, nurses who are poorly paid, doctors who are poorly paid. I'm even shocked to know, and we're not talking about those in leadership. We're talking about the common ones, since the commoners, because since God has made some people better than some, obviously in their mind. Because I remember when Minister Nigel Clark was on Dion Jackson Miller's program and said, see, the people who, but she said, hold on a second, we're not talking those in leadership in terms of the school administrators or the, people in higher ranking. We're talking about the common man, the majority, the masses. You're coming to show me this and that. We already know that. It's those in leadership positions. What happened to those who are not in leadership positions? What about them? Aren't they humans as well? I didn't know that God had said, okay, those over there are going to be made, specially made. They're not going to come from a woman. They're going to come straight from heaven. You're just going to be born of a woman. The people are tired and frustrated. When you look at I see a lot of places built. It's everywhere. It's not just in Kingston. And when you hear the prices of some of these houses, that when you put your hand one place, it lands in the toilet. And when you put it the other place, it lands on the stove, the hot burning stove. 28 million and counting. No matter how educated you are, I could have 20 PhD, unless I have a job commensurate with my educational abilities and my competencies and my skills, I would not be able to afford that. The average man would not be able to afford that. I wonder who will manage with this water crisis, with all of these places building up. Where is the water coming from? Where is the water coming from? Because they don't want to invest. As our lady had positively invested in getting water from some CR, whatever it is, from Portland. And the very same, some of the Portlandese, let me call them that, crying out for about water. A parish that I call the land of water and water. Can't you say wood and water? The land of water and water. Huh? It is a travesty of justice, and we are joking. I can't use that word. I was going to say the P footing around. I don't want anybody to say me say the word. You understand? Let me be very careful. Like saying, because they know how to splice and dice videos. And I don't want anybody accuse me of cursing any bad words. What we call bad words here in Jamaica. The pea-footing around. You know what it is. If you don't know, go and research. The present leader of the land is in terms of not the favorite right now of the two. Not the favorite of the two. And we have been crying out as public sector servants, workers. We have been crying out, and they're not listening. They're the larger forces, you know. They're the larger of the two. Sorry, larger of the two. And you know it's wide and varied. Civil servants, police officers, teachers, nurses, doctors, lawyer, Indian chief. And it comes down to the inability to afford basic commodities. Have you just walked in the supermarket and you look in the trolleys or sometimes at the side of when you go up to the cashier, how half of the things put back? And these are not even so much expensive items. People can't survive, you know. I said to somebody, if I go and buy personal items, like you'd say makeup, deodorant, perfume, things that, you know, we need, it would cut into me having to pay other bills because it is so expensive. So you would have to live like a rat in order to pay bills successfully and watch yourself disintegrate. And unfortunately, in some cases, to the point of death because you cannot survive based on the low income, the low salary. Right? And they have a thing called incremental increase. Incremental cannot help because cost of living is still high. So your pay is here and the cost of living is here. So when they increment and it's still up here, you're still not surviving. And then everybody going to run to Tom, Dick and Harry as a woman to say they need somebody to go pay this, get this man to pay that bill, get that man to pay this bill. No. Some of us have a little pride and dignity, and I'm not knocking anybody because I'm too, you know, I'm an imperfect being. But I'm just saying to you that some of us decide, you know what, let us, as best as we can, hold on to the little dignity and integrity. Because the people who do it is because they don't know what to do, especially if they have children or ailing parents, or somebody that they have to take care of. Even themselves. Anything can be going on wrong with them. There's a whole heap of people walking around with mental turmoil and distress, psychological turmoil and distress, physical turmoil and defect. And they cannot look to Tom, Dick and Harry. People are down. People are despondent and the leaders are not listening. The leaders are not listening, but the one, you know, people come and say, why you don't hit one particular, I say, well, the one that is not in governance, why would you will be hitting them on past leadership, which they have gotten that. We have to talk about who is leading. It's not a matter of say, oh, it's because it's GLP, or it's because it's PNP, it's or PNP or GLP. It is because whoever is in leadership is the one that is the driving force to what is happening in our country. The one who is in leadership, it has nothing to do with, oh, because they say you're PNP, because they say you're GLP. No, I'm not in for that, you know, really, I'm not. I'm for the Jamaican people, believe it or not. Not all of us are politically aligned, you know. Not all of us. But it has been, the last, especially 3 to 4 years, have been horrendous. It has been arduous, it has been difficult financially. Socially, look at what is happening in our country. Look at what is happening in the schools. And what people are doing is coming, like I saw yesterday on the Deion Jackson Miller's program, they talk about the problem in schools from far back, they went far back as 2007. Obviously, it has to start from its embryonic stage, the seed stage. A monster is not a monster overnight. It starts from their young, the formative years. And they're taught how to be monsters. That's what is happening to our children. They're being taught subliminally, unfortunately, overtly, how to be monsters. That's what they're being taught. So the daggering in schools in front of the administrators or the teachers and so forth is because it's what they're taught at home. Maybe that's what they see when they go to the parties and so on. Sometimes, listen to the buses when you pass them. And you listen to the music that is played in there. You listen to how adults talk to children now. Lace them with bad words, dirty words, curse words. And when I say curse words, I don't mean like Jamaican bad words. Words that tell them you're nothing. You're this, you're all the horrible adjectives that you can think of. Backed by horrible adverbs. Come on, the leadership is poor. It is. We have to call a spade a spade. And let me tell you, if things don't change, God is going to intervene at an inopportune time for those people, and beat no go and come. I know me, a God. Anyway, guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this message.